Okay, here we go. Good evening. How are you all doing on this wonderful Sunday evening? It's currently 6:30. Thought I'd just go live. I'm trying to do these a lot more frequently now. I popped a questions and answers on Instagram yesterday, so I just thought I'd get some of these out, answer some of your questions, do it on live. I'm not scared. I'll do it. So without further ado, let's get into it. I won't waste anybody's time. Starting off, James, what's the biggest mistake people make when they're trying to lose weight? I would think definitely setting the bar too high for themselves. So a lot of the time, people would want to lose 20 kilograms and they don't necessarily need to lose that weight. Or people think, right, that their weight, their entire weight is made up of body fat. And what you don't realize is that your weight is made up of a whole multifaceted different reasons, right? So don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about people perfect. Like if you're smashing it Monday to Friday, then you're more likely to undo it all on the weekend. I see it all the time. Friday evening at the gym, it's absolutely quiet. You can see tumbleweed like rolling across the gym floor. But ultimately, if you don't push yourself Monday to Friday, if you find a habit that works for you, you're less likely to kind of go out and go a little bit crazy. So yeah, that I would say is a big mistake that a lot of people make, is that they undo a lot of their progress on the weekends just by restricting themselves too much on a Monday to Friday basis. That's what I would say. Okay, Holly, are meal replacement shakes actually worth it, or is it just a scam? Yeah, they can work, but obviously they're not magic. And I would never use protein shakes or any kind of protein supplementations for as like a meal replacement. You're always going to get most nutritional value from like whole foods and full meals. Yeah, definitely wouldn't go down that route. But yeah, if you're just trying to hit like a protein goal, then yeah, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. For example, protein shake or protein bar may contain like 20 to 30 grams of protein. So it's just a window to allow for more opportunity of getting protein in, basically. Okay, Dan, I can't seem to gain weight no matter what I eat. Any tips? You're probably not eating enough. I know you probably feel like you are, but I would actually track everything that you eat. What you want to do is you want to work out your maintenance calories. What that means is your maintenance calories is the amount of calories that your body is going to need in order to just keep to your current weight. Now, your maintenance calories is never like how do I put this? It's not a direct number. It's like a close range. Okay, if you go south of that range, okay, you're going to be in a calorie deficit, so you're going to lose weight. If you go into a northern range, so a surplus, then you will gain weight. And what you need to do by tracking is you need to work out your maintenance calories, and from there, if you're feeling like you're not putting any weight on, then yeah, you need to go into a surplus of that as well. We all feel like we eat a lot until we realize that we don't. Also, lift heavy as well. That's what I would say. Okay, Rebecca, best exercise for getting stronger overall. I would say deadlifts, as that usually hits everything. So like your grip, your core, back, legs. It's a compound movement. Compound meaning it's using more than one muscle group to assist with the exercise. Obviously, if you hate deadlifts, maybe swap it out for like squats or bench, maybe pull-ups. Even though that's quite a difficult movement to perform as well. Okay, Kyle, how do I improve my grip strength? Mine is shocking. Maybe farmers carries, dead hangs, and maybe trying to use, I don't know if you're using lifting straps already, but maybe trying to lift without those as well. Grip's a difficult one. I've got, as you can see here, I've got little bitch wrists. I've always had issues with my grip. I used to wear gloves years ago when I first started training, and I stopped. And yeah, my grip's gotten a lot better recently. But you can maybe get one of those grip strengtheners that they use. So yeah, maybe try using that. Okay, scrolling down, who've we got? Natalie, I hate cardio, but I know I need to do it. What's the least painful way? You might just be doing the wrong form of cardio, to be honest. If you find going on the treadmill or the cross trainer or stairmaster is just not cutting it for you, maybe you just need to pick something that you don't despise. So you could do skipping, you can do boxing, you could do swimming. You know, there are so many other alternatives to cardio. When we think of cardio and gym, the first thing that comes to mind is the treadmill, the cross trainers. You know, these are things that you don't necessarily have to do. Even just going for a run, maybe outdoors. Like you might like running, but you might just need to change up the scenery. I know if you're from the UK, it's not really ideal. It's not the kind of weather that you want to look towards going out for runs in, but it could make a change. It could make a change, and hopefully spring is around the corner. I say that, but living in the UK, probably have it about 2 weeks. Yeah, that's what I would say, Natalie. Go for that. Owen, how do I stop binge eating on weekends after being good all week? Maybe you are eating way too less in the week. All right. If you are starving by Friday, you're just setting yourself up for a binge. What you need to do is probably add more protein into your diet, maybe some more fibers, and actually creating some meals while still tracking. It depends on what your goals are, Owen, really, which I wouldn't know. Laura, do I really need to take creatine or is it overhyped? It's one of the few supplements that actually really work, and it's had a lot of studies as well. I touched upon this in my last live, and I think I've made a reel on creatine, but it's one of the safest supplements that you can take. Basically, it just helps keep water retention in your muscles, and it just enhances performance. I believe there was a few studies that claimed that creatine was also really good for like cognitive benefits. I believe they are still doing studies on that as well. But yeah, definitely give it a go. I would go for monohydrate. Just going to be help with like recovery, muscle growth. There are some things surrounding creatine where, side effects on will it make you bald? No, probably not. I would probably just take about 5 grams a day, keep it at that. And if you take too much creatine, you'll just urinate out. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Yeah, definitely give it a go. Definitely give it a go. And do you know what? Right, with creatine, it's one of those things where you don't really notice. Like it takes a while for your performance to improve when you've been on creatine. So it's not like you will be taking it for a couple of days and you're shaking, going, I can feel the creatine coursing through my veins. It's not like that. It's not like that. You might not even know, but you might just be able to hit a couple more reps and increase your performance throughout your workouts. So yeah, definitely give it a go. Give it a go and see how you get on. Okay. How often should I be deloading when lifting heavy weights? Depends how hard you're training. Depends how hard you train. It all depends on your plan. If you're sort of lifting heavy and pushing yourself, maybe 4 to 6 weeks, I would say. Obviously, if you're never feeling tired or sore, you're probably not training hard enough to need one. Would be my advice. Samantha, I've been lifting for a year, but my progress has stalled. What do I do? Maybe there's a few things you can do. Checking your diet, checking your training. Are you following a training plan? Checking your effort levels. So us personal trainers, we usually use an effort level or a measurement called RPE, which is rate of perceived exertion. And what that means is how difficult did you find the exercise? Normally, when I train people, I'll usually do them like on a warm-up set, so very light weights, high repetitions, just to warm up the muscles. And I usually ask them how they found that out of 10. Obviously, 10 being like the hardest thing they've ever done, 1 being it was piss easy, easiest thing in the world. If it was like a 5 out of 10, you would probably want to take up the weight a little bit more till that number gets to about 7 or 8, or maybe even 8 or 9. If you found it really difficult, then yeah, that's where I would stick at until that number 8, 9 drops back down to like maybe like a 5 or a 6. Because ultimately, the more you lift, the stronger you're going to get over time. So that's what I would do, Samantha. I would definitely check to see where you are in your progress. And yeah, if this is something that you might need to have a plan for, or if you want to track yourself, then that is what I would suggest doing. Okay. Connor, what's the best way to stop caring about what other people think? Well, you need to realize that most people are too busy worrying about themselves. And also, right, if they're fucking not paying your bills or improving your life, who cares? Why does it even matter? Why does it even matter? I've always said if they're not paying you and if they're not, making you feel better, if they're not your close friends, if it's not your family, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Everybody's too busy worrying about themselves, to be honest. And the sooner you realize that, the easier it becomes. Emma, how do I get out of my own head even though I overthink everything? Your best bet probably is to take action. So rather than just sitting there and waiting for things to get worse, maybe go train, go for a walk, write things down. Yeah, anything that gets into your head, you know, kind of needs to just take action upon it. You'll find that most of the time you'll just overthink a lot of things and they're actually not that bad. When I go to bed late at night, I usually just shut everything off. Like I just shut off. I watch astronomy videos to help put me to sleep, and then I listen to Ray music because in the middle of the night, my brain is like, bing, 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 bing. I can't sleep in silence. I can't. Like, if I sleep in silence, I'm thinking about everything. I'm like, oh, fuck, did I send out that email? Like, did I do X, Y, Z? It's a nightmare. But if you just put some AirPods in, go for a walk, and yeah, you'll find that it's actually not so bad. So I would definitely try that, Emma, if that doesn't work. Bradley, best advice for dealing with burnout? Yes, I would say stop waiting for burnout to take place before you take a break. Usually, when your sleep pattern is on a negative effect, that would be the time to take rest days. Now, I was never really one for like rest days in my younger days. I sound like I'm a 40-year-old man now trying to talk to you younguns, but I definitely didn't take enough rest days. I've been through burnout before. The best thing you can do is just ensure that the moment you start getting tired, the minute your mood starts to take a negative effect, just take some time off. So many of us, right, think that we're not doing enough, but we're actually, I think, personally doing way too much. The world moves on too quick. I think the only time life has truly kind of taken a halt was when lockdown happened. I think we all just kind of sat back and reflected, going, "Fucking hell!" Like I remember in lockdown, I didn't know what to do with myself, just because you're just on the go, like all the time, all the time. So yeah, that would be my advice. If Bradley, if you're dealing with burnout, please let me know. You can just drop me an email, and I will assist you on that on a one-to-one basis if need be. Okay, right. Let's see how many more we've got. Not many more, I don't think. It's fine. Nice quick one. Nice quick one for a Sunday evening. Jess, would you rather fight a chicken every time you get into your car or a gorilla once a year? Maybe a gorilla once. Actually, because I've heard a chicken pet can be quite bad. I don't know. I don't. What fucking question is that? Who can't, mate, you lot, honestly, come up with some absolute shit. Nathan, why does my back hurt every morning even though I go to the gym? It could be a different number of reasons, Nathan. Could be the way that you sit. I don't know. Like if your posture is bad or your form when you're training could be quite bad. Um, could have a slip disc, could have any kind of spinal related issues. In that, if that's the case, if it persists or if it gets worse, you might have to seek advice from a physio. To which, in that case, I won't be able to assist with, unfortunately. Sophia, what's one habit that completely changed your life? Definitely going for walks every day. Recently, I haven't had much time just with the weather being rubbish, but last year I went for walks every day just to clear my head. Popped a podcast in, or maybe just listen to some music, and it changed my life. Just sets you up for the day, stops you scrolling, and gives me time away from the laptop and time away from the gym environment. While I love it, going for walks outside is something that hugely benefited my cognitive abilities when it came back to the desk when I had a fresh mind. So yeah, that's one habit that definitely changed my life, and I will continue to do that. I will definitely continue to do that. And I would advise anybody, if you are somebody that does not get enough steps, when the weather does eventually pick up and the days get longer and it's sunnier, if you can get away from the office, I would definitely just go out and clear your head. Honestly, change your life. Change your life. Callum, if you could do one type of training for the rest of your life, what would it be? Well, considering that I'm primarily a strength coach, I would probably just stick to strength training. I'm not really a fan of any CrossFit or any kind of cardio based, even though I do want to take up more cardio, but I would probably do that from maybe like maybe setting like a performance goal, but perhaps something for like combat sports. I was thinking of maybe taking up some Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the future, maybe in the near future, just switch it up a little bit. I know there's a lot of strength involved in that as well. So I might stick with strength training, but I could perhaps switch it up just to maybe a little bit more functional strength, perhaps. But yeah, ultimately, you want to be strong. That's the way I see it. I've trained way too many ex-athletes all come to me with their hips fucked, their knees are fucked. They've done no resistance training because, yeah, they just don't believe in all that. I think a lot of people believe that when you build on muscle, you're going to get absolutely massive, and that's not necessarily the case. Not necessarily the case. Ultimately, we go to the gym to get stronger. That's what I think. Megan, what's the dumbest fitness myth you've ever heard? It's probably something from Eddie Abu, to be honest. Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't know, maybe. Right. I would say lifting makes women bulky. That's what I would say. Lifting makes women bulky. No, right? Calorie surplus for years on end is what makes you bulky, right? And pumping testosterone in your ass is what makes women bulky. So many ladies come up to me and they just say, "Oh, I don't want big quads. I don't want big arms. I don't want to look like I'm too bulky." Yeah, it's not going to happen, right? When you do some resistance training, ultimately, it's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you more toned, and you're actually going to shape nicely. What I always say, if you want to squeeze into that dress size smaller, I would always suggest going for resistance training and popping yourself into a small calorie deficit. But I would never say that. I mean, women just don't produce enough testosterone to get bulky, so it's never going to happen. And you know what? Let's just say, right? Let's just say, oh, Dan, my quadriceps are too big. Said no one ever, right? You would just simply dial the weight back down. Or perhaps maybe just doing less leg extensions and perhaps just focusing more on glute exercises. Or do you know what? If your triceps are lacking, maybe just focusing on there. But ultimately, if you are getting stronger, that's what matters. Yeah, that's what matters. And yeah, there's just so much misinformation on all this bollocks of women are just going to get stocky and they don't want to. They see guys building muscle and ladies are just nowhere near that level, which is why I can get behind women jumping on steroids a lot more than men, because naturally you guys are at a disadvantage. It's just the way it is, I'm afraid. Okay. Elliot, if you had to eat one meal every day for a year, what would it be? One meal. Do you know what? My eating habits are so bizarre because I love a lot of food, right? If I could have one meal every single day, it would probably be, right? Hear me out. This is this is gonna sound so generic for me, right? Barbecue steamed chicken. Barbecue steamed chicken with either basmati or pilau rice and maybe some broccoli. Yeah, that's what I do. I sound like a proper gym bro. I sound like I'm the fussiest eater in the world. But you know what? If I had to do it for a full, it's quite low in calories. You get a good 30 to 40 grams of protein. I'll do it. Either that or something maybe steak related. I don't know. That's a good question, Elliot. I'll have to have a little think on that when I come off this live. Lucy, if you had to swap lives with one celebrity for a week, who would it be and why? Probably Arnold Schwarzenegger, to be honest. I just think he's hilarious. And he's come far from when he was. I kind of knew him originally from Hollywood, and then once I sort of got more into the gym, I kind of discovered a little bit more in terms of what he used to do back in his Mr. Olympia days, and it's fucking hilarious. No wonder that a lot of Hollywood took him. Yeah, I'd go probably either Arnold Schwarzenegger or what's his name? Ryan Reynolds. Probably Ryan Reynolds, just because he's funny, he's hilarious. So I'd probably either one of those two, or maybe The Rock. I don't know. I fucking pick on this all day. Right, ladies and gents, that's 20 minutes in. That's all the questions answered, or at least the ones that I have screenshot in here. I'm going to pop another one of these out maybe next week. And yeah, awesome. Always a pleasure doing these, and I will catch you all very soon. Take care. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.